Welcome back to our course on PowerPoint 2013. In this section we're going to look at a couple of very important tools when you're working with PowerPoint 2013, and that's the undo and redo tools. Now, I'm sure that if you've used Windows software before, if you've used any components of Microsoft Office before, you'll be familiar with undo. There are a couple of specific things in relation to PowerPoint that I want to cover in this section, but briefly, undo is straightforward enough. Let's suppose that I select this home slide here and then I press the delete key to delete the slide. It's gone. If I decide that that's a mistake, I've accidentally deleted it, then I can undo it. Generally speaking, the undo button is one of the ones that people tend to have on the quick access toolbar, and I've got an undo button on the quick access toolbar. It's this sort of curvy arrow here pointing up to the top left, and it says undo delete slide. In fact, it'll say undo whatever I did last. And very importantly, and this is one of the keyboard shortcuts that I tend to remember, there is a keyboard shortcut Control Z to do an undo. So if I click on undo delete slide, my previously deleted slide is back again. Closely related to the undo command is the redo command. I've restored that slide and then I thought, no, I did actually mean to delete that in the first place. I could either do the delete again, or I can use the other button, which is normally to the right of the undo, which is the redo delete slide. Keyboard shortcut on redo is Control Y, redo, and it's gone again. Now let's suppose that having deleted that slide, I didn't immediately realize that I wanted to put it back again, or then indeed that I subsequently changed my mind yet again, but I went and did something else. So I went back to slide 1, I took the second sentence there and I decided, oh, I don't want to say your host for the day, I want to say I am the presenter for this first session. And then I said, oh, I don't want to say welcome to this presentation, I want to say welcome to our presentation. So I'll make a few other changes, in this case in the notes on the first slide. If I now go up to the undo again, I could undo those in reverse order. So my first undo would get rid of the last change that I made, the next undo would do the one before that, and so on. But you may see that just to the right of the undo button there's a little drop down. And if I click on that drop down, it gives me a list of the last so many things that I've done. Now, it won't tell me exactly what typing I did, but it does know that the last thing I did was some typing, and before that I did some typing, and before that I did some typing. Now, as I go down that list, it's saying undo 3 actions, undo 4 actions. If I get right back to the delete slide, there are actually 5 actions. Note that the typing does not necessarily imply one character or one word or one sentence. It's one sort of batch of typing. If I wanted to undo right back to deleting slide, if I click now, everything back to delete slide, so all of these subsequent changes, they would all be undone. And there is a very important point here, and that is that if I wanted to undo that delete slide, then I would have to undo everything since then as well, because of course those other changes may have been affected by deleting the slide. I cannot selectively go back and just undo delete slide and ignore the other 4 changes since. So although this is a very useful facility to be able to go back and automatically undo several actions, I cannot sort of choose the odd action here and there to undo. If I want to go back to delete slide, I have to undo everything since then as well. So let me suppose that instead of that I just want to go back, say, 3 changes. If I were to undo back to 3 changes, you can see the effect of that in the notes page. Let me just go back those last 3 and undo that. And you can see the very last change has been undone, and part of the change to the second sentence has been undone, but not all of it. So you can certainly undo the last action, and you can undo back several actions using that drop down, but you cannot selectively take old actions and undo them. You have to go right back to the first, chronologically, the first action that you took that you want to undo. You have to undo everything since. Now there's one other point to make here. If I click on the File tab to go into Backstage View and then click on Options, go to the Advanced tab, then in the first section, in the editing options, the last entry there, maximum number of undos. This defaults to 20. You can increase the maximum number of undos if you want to. It has to be a whole number between 3 and 150. On some older or perhaps less powerful computers, having a very high number for the maximum number of undos can cause performance problems because there's an awful lot of information for PowerPoint 2013 to keep. But to be fair, nowadays you can set that at a much higher figure if you really want to. I'd say that confidently undoing more than 20 steps would be a pretty ambitious thing to do, because you'd have to remember very well exactly what those 20 steps were. So I tend to leave mine at this default figure of 20, but it's another one of those settings that really only you can decide where you want it set for your own purposes. If, like me, you have a tendency to make mistakes or to change your mind, then I think you'll find that undo and redo are pretty useful facilities, and there should be enough there for you to be able to use them with confidence. I'll see you in the next section.
If this is your first time here, click on the subscribe button to get similar videos every week. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, new videos are uploaded to our YouTube channel. If you want to see similar videos, click on the links under Check Out These Tutorials by Simon Says It.